I've been teasing this video for over a year now, I think. I've been mentioning it multiple times. And now finally, I can give it to you. Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. It is time to review the third and final book in the Broken Blade series, 3 Shattered Souls. As you can see, I have the previous books in the series right behind me, so we can see that I got them all. And also I have the deluxe editions. So no matter what I'm gonna say in this video today, and also what I've said in previous videos, I've paid for these babies, and I'm keeping these babies. Honestly, they're some of the most stunning books I own. The deluxe editions of this series, exquisite. I love them. I shelved them facing out, and they just look so good on my shelves. The content though, yeah. Disclaimer. This is the third and final book as of now, as of what we know, but it is said to be the final book in this series. If you do not wish to be spoiled, probably don't watch this. I don't think I'm gonna mention that many details, like plot-wise actually, but obviously I will talk about characters that are or are not alive, things that have happened, like I might mention things. If you have any interest in reading this and don't want to be spoiled, then perhaps you check out the first video, because I remember that I try to keep that fairly spoiler-free actually. I can't make any guarantees for the second and third book. Second disclaimer, if you've seen these videos before, you already know my stance on this series. If you haven't, I will tell you. I don't think this is a particularly well-written series. I have quite a lot of complaints. I've made RANT reviews for the previous ones. I have not rated these books highly. Spoiler alert, this also doesn't have a high rating. So if you're offended by that, if this is your favorite series, if you feel like you can't really take me joking around a bit about the contents and what doesn't work with this, don't watch it. Spare yourself. Watch something you will enjoy. For me, it has become a thing where I purchased the first book. You're getting all the backstory here. I purchased the first book and was so excited about it. It was stunning. Like, I can show you. It's also gorgeous, right? I got this one. I paid a lot of money for these deluxe editions actually. I bought them in store. I purchased that first one, was super duper excited about it, started to read it, got so disappointed. I was entertained, but I was disappointed in the execution and writing and all of that. And because of that disappointment, I felt like I wanted to rant about it. So I made a dedicated video review for that book. I was still feeling optimistic. So once the second book was released, I picked that one up as well, because I thought that, oh, hopefully things will get better now. Spoiler alert, it didn't. And then I ranted about that. And now I sort of, in my mind, I made this into a thing, so I knew that I would want to pick up the third book, read it, rate and review it. So those are my disclaimers. I can add a third one. I haven't scripted this. I'm not certain what I'm gonna say. I have, as always, taken notes while reading this one. So I have tabbed certain parts that I have opinions on, and I also have like these post-its where I have written down some thoughts, feelings, things like that. So this book I actually started to read, I think, over a year ago. I started to read it fairly close to its release, which was sometime start of 2025, I think, or maybe the summer of 2025. I started reading it last year, and then I put it aside. I read about 40 pages. And then, I don't know what happened, but like a week ago or something came over me and I decided to pick it up again. Call it fate, call it me being proactive for once, I don't know. Call it me needing content. Call it me not knowing what I should film, so might as well wrap up this review series. So the first 40 pages I read probably or closer to a year ago. I was definitely not gonna reread them, so I actually don't remember that much from those first 40 pages, but I also feel like I didn't really lack anything. But to recap this series in the best way I can, this series is about 6 random people, or how many are they even? 6, 7, something like that? 6, 7? Okay, I'm sorry. How many are they? Are they 5? Maybe they're 5 actually. Yeah, they're 5 killers. But somehow we get more characters. It's 5 killers, but we're actually following like 6 main characters. That's why the first book is called 5 Broken Blades. This series is an epic fantasy series. The world is very much inspired by East Asian culture. I believe the writer is Korean American, so a lot of inspiration from Korea, also some from Japan. You notice it in the names, you notice it in what they eat, what things are being called. It's your typical fantasy world. We don't really have electronics and stuff, we don't have cars, like none of that modern electricity things. We call hours for bell, 1 bell, 2 bell, 3 bell, we will get to that. They like to say bell quite a lot, because that's one of the very few defining world building things. It's various kingdoms, I think there's like 3 or 4 different kingdoms. If you're gonna bash me for not knowing the plot properly, feel free to do that. I'm gonna blame the book for not explaining it to me properly. The plot is basically, if I remember correctly, because things, I don't know, the first book is about these 5-6 different people sort of joining up because they have each their own interest in killing one of the current kings or getting a hold of something that one of the current kings have. I don't quite remember how they get together. Please watch my previous videos if you want a better explanation of the plot. But they sort of end up as like this group of misfits, this found family, and we have very stereotypical people. You have your sexy poison maid that everyone falls for. We have the cutesy, girly, spoiled brat. We have the oh so mysterious spy master who is super, I don't know, good at what he does. We have your typical strong man who swears a lot and like uses his muscles and is brawny and stuff. And then we have the bit more timid, shy, very like kind prince. And then the 6th one is the useless one who is also like a prince. And it's just, he never does anything. And of course all of these 6 characters pair off throughout the books as well and have a lot of sex when it's not convenient, because obviously that's what you do when you're a part of a heist, a part of a mission to kill the king. You sleep with your co-workers, I don't know. It's sort of pitched like these characters being like, you can't really trust anyone, they are all liars, they will all betray you because they come from all different sort of backgrounds and have their own intentions and what they want to do and stuff. We will get to that as well, because I actually feel like for being pitched as like books that you're getting betrayed all the time, you can't trust anyone, these group of characters actually stick together quite well and they never really betray anyone. Sure, they have secrets in the beginning, but then like there's no betrayal or anything like that in this book. Like at all. Like the pitch here on the back says, some lies are for love, others are for betrayal. Honestly, these liars in this book, no lies, no betrayal, they're pretty solid, they trust each other. You feel that no one will betray anyone. No one's keeping secrets anymore. So it's sort of like, okay, I feel fine with this. It's the side characters that cause the plot to happen. It's the side characters that will betray you, lie to you. The main characters, you're good. You don't need to worry about that. You can relax. And in the story, in the first book, they journey, they succeed or don't succeed with the mission. Read the book to find out. Part of them journeying, that's sort of like a big part of the books, because it's very repetitive and it happens all the time. And when I think about it, it's something that happens in all of the books. They're always going somewhere, traveling between cities, traveling between kingdoms, empires. But it gets very repetitive in the way that it's told, that basically they decide to go to a place. They go there and talk to like the king or the emperor or some other important people, or they go to an inn. And then it's told, always in very much detail, how they get a meal, are fed, need to figure out how to get clothes. Our little pixie, manic, cute, spoiled brat girl, she loves clothes, obviously. She's always on a mission to find a new outfit, wherever they go. They get fed, they eat, they change clothes, they have a bath, they go to sleep. Something happens during the night. They're either being attacked, someone else is being attacked, someone leaves, someone tries to assassinate them. The amount of times I've had assassins fail in the series is quite a few actually. I haven't counted them, but it's minimum of 2. Probably more, I'm quite certain. Something happens during the night, in the morning, they leave, they go to a new place. We get very much a description of how they're being fed, how they get food, how they go to sleep, how something happens, they go to a new place. That's sort of like the constant plot of this. And honestly, I can't differentiate between the different cities they go to, the kingdoms, the empires. We never really learn anything about the places. We learn about the characters in those places, to be fair. I personally don't really remember much or care too much about that, but we learn about the people relevant to that place. Who's ruling, who they are with, why they are there, things like that. But we actually never really see or learn about these places, because they're always inside a castle or something. I don't know what these different empires look like. It's not described to me. There's very little description in this book overall. It's very dialogue heavy, which is fine. And the chapters are super quick and short, like sometimes just 2-3 pages. But it's very little description. You don't really visualize anything. I have no clue what these places look like. It's never described, in my opinion. So, repetitive story. Another issue with these books, unfortunately, is the amount of telling, not showing. These characters that we are following, they're getting told a lot of things from other characters. They very, very rarely figure out something on their own. Other characters are doing the work of finding out stuff, of telling them about something, about updating them about something. It's very rare that our characters learn things on their own, that they draw their own conclusions, or that they actually experience the things that are going on. So they're sort of like in the periphery of everything. It just suffers majorly from telling, not showing. And I feel, from reading other people's reviews, I feel like other people agree with that. I think I remember when I talked about the first book, that we never really see any action scenes, because I don't believe the author knew how to write action scenes, so we never saw them. We just heard about, oh, and then this happened in the fight and that person got hurt. That's why we are here now. And it's sort of the same thing everywhere. And then this happened here, so that's why we're here now. The characters themselves, I don't care for. I don't particularly like these people. Some are useless. Some I have no opinion on now. I think I hated everyone at first. Now I'm sort of like neutral on some of them. But there's not really a character I care about in the series. I think the character I liked the most was one of the side characters that sort of showed up in the second book and also was present in this third one. And that's only because she called the character I think is useless, she called him useless. Which I was like, hey, you know me, you get me, I like you. Also, another thing, this book is supposed to be the big conclusion, right? To this series. It's supposed to be high stakes, a lot going on. I will give it that the last 100 pages, you sort of feel that things are ramping up, they are planning for a war or a fight. But then actually just reading that didn't really feel that major for some reason. It's like there's this person they are trying to kill, and suddenly that just happens, and I still don't quite realize how that character died. I don't really get what led to that, or what move someone made to kill that character. For me, when I was reading this, suddenly that character was just dead. And I was like, oh, okay, so they won. A lot of this can be, of course, me, because I knew going into this that I probably wouldn't enjoy this, since I haven't enjoyed the other books. So yes, I might be a bit more indifferent about this. I might be a bit more negative, like from the start. And I knew, like, I just wanted to finish it. I didn't really expect much from it. So a lot of it can also be me and my attitude towards this book and towards this series. Another complaint I've had throughout the books that I still have is the language. I don't think that these books are necessarily that well written. It's sort of like it's trying to be this world where it's a bit more, I don't know if ancient is the word I'm looking for, but like a bit of an older world. But the language is very much modern and with slang, and that is just a disconnect for me that brings me out of the story. Sometimes the author really tries to make the writing more lyrical, fit a bit more with the themes and stuff. As mentioned, instead of saying clock or hour, they say 1 bell, 2 bell. They count bells, and they do it a lot. They do it a lot, okay? It's always 1 bell, 2 bell, 3 bells. It's, I think I even wrote a note about it actually, how many bells we're thinking about here. Damn, they really love telling the time, was my comment. In one bell we will do this, in one bell this is gonna happen, in one bell, so yeah, I get it. You're trying to establish this world with the language, but you can't do it only using a few words or sentences that you constantly repeat. Another thing is whenever someone dies, they say that they are now walking the road of souls or something like that. And it could be this really beautiful lyrical thing, but it's so just out of place with everything else. I actually tend to tab parts where I feel like the writing is pulling me out of the story. So let's see what I have tabbed. Quite early on, like in the first chapter or something, it's this very cheesy moment when someone is like, he's hiding what he feels. Can we trust him? Can we trust anybody now? And it's just, it also falls a lot into those very generic, stereotypical tropes and storylines and sentences. Here's another one where they are trying to be funny as well. I feel like there's a lot of attempts for humor in these books. Probably more in the first two. We sort of lost that spark in the third one. Here we have in the third chapter. Ugh, we're in so much more danger than we thought. And we haven't even had breakfast yet. Once again, something happens during the night, right? One sentence is just which, I mean, makes sense. Okay. Another thing that annoyed me as well is how repetitive the writing sometimes is. Here is a part where our character is thinking, I have no memory of that, and I'm sure he's exaggerating, but the look in his eyes tells me he's genuinely worried. I don't remember that, she says. So she thinks that first, and then she reiterates that by telling us. But we, as the reader, read it twice in one paragraph. That's stupid. Oh, here's the part I actually tabbed where the character Hannah says that Tiang is useless. I love that. You were just a kid when it all started, and you're mostly useless as a grown man. Yeah, that's how she became my favorite character. There are actually parts where there is potential. With this book, compared to the other books, I feel like I sort of felt or saw potential. I feel like there is ability and a chance of writing something really good. It just needs more editing, more work. And I feel like, unfortunately, for the story, these books were rushed out. Like, all three of these were released within like 2 years or something, maybe less, 1 year. And that's quite quick for an entire trilogy, considering how long we usually wait for the next book to be released and the next book. Here's another like start of a chapter. There comes a time when everyone just needs to go the fuck to bed. We hit that point bells ago. Bells. Bells. I should have counted every time the word bell is being used. It's one of the most frequent words in this book, I swear. Another cheesy moment. Well, I thought I offer. So much for playing the hero. Let's go and be villains. Oh, sorry. As I mentioned, this group of characters is sort of called the liars or something like that. That's sort of how people speak about them. Same way that in Six of Crows we talk about the crows. So like, I feel like readers and PR, the marketing team, are referring to these characters as the liars. But considering how they are supposed to be the liars, they really suck at lying and being stealthy. They're always so obvious. First of all, there's not much lying between the characters, as mentioned. Not much betraying or lying, so I feel like that. And they are just not smooth in anything they do. They're so obvious, always. It's always so obvious who they are in love with, who they're gonna spend the night with, what their plans are. Like, no wonder they always have to be on the move. Because everyone always find out where they are. They are not stealthy or smooth. I also wrote here that I thought that perhaps this was meant to be a duology, actually. Because I sort of feel like you could have squished the second and third book together. I get the first book being separate, but you could have actually squished this one with the second book, I think. So maybe, I don't know if the original plan was for it to be a duology. It was just a thought I had while reading this. Do they actually ever do anything I've written here in my notes? Referring to the telling not showing, and the fact that the side characters are actually the people driving the plot forward. And yeah, there's just like random bits or attempts at world building. Oh, we put so much thought into this and we have these magical creatures and stuff. But we get there for like 2 or 3 pages and then those creatures or whatever never show up again. We have one chapter when our characters are on a boat and they hear sirens. Or like, you know, not sirens as in ambulances and stuff, but like the sea creatures, the one that calls to men and stuff. They hear that, and that's an entire thing, that someone is being enchanted by this voice and try to rescue them and want to jump overboard and stuff. And then that's never mentioned again. Never, ever. So I sort of feel like, oh, that felt very odd, I guess, that we spent time with that when it wasn't a big deal, nothing happened, and then we just moved on from it. Yeah, I wrote here, let's see if they turn up again. They didn't. I feel like they're sort of more bland in this book as well. At least in the first book, they were very strong and true to their stereotypes. In this one, I think it's an attempt from the author to make it so that, oh, they are not all what they seem like, they don't actually match with these stereotypes and stuff. But when you remove that, they actually don't really have much personality, they don't really do much. I don't really understand how everyone falls in love with each other, because we never really get to know their personality. They feel more bland and like bleak versions of themselves than they were at the start of the book. And sure, you can argue that they've been through a lot, they are fighting, they are tired, they are all of that. But it's just boring to read, no matter what. And the final thing is that this is probably the book in the series I had the least thoughts or feelings about. Reading the first one, I was entertained. I was disappointed by the writing and execution, but I was entertained. Second book, I hoped it would be better, but that wasn't the case, and on top of that, I wasn't entertained either. So this is my least favorite book in the series, because it was just poorly executed in all of the ways. And then this one, I just didn't care that much for. This is supposed to be the final book in the series, and I just didn't care what happened to the characters, what was gonna happen in the world. And once again, partly my fault, definitely, I can accept that. But also, once again, partly the writing and the execution. And that's sad, because I do feel like this series has quite a bit of potential, actually. It could be something really cool, but it's been rushed, definitely, through editing. It hand feeds you everything. They are giving you everything. Just the same way that they are serving the main characters the events that are happening without the main characters needing to do anything. It's sort of the same experience being the reader, that they're just giving, oh, and this is the thing. Here we have the major foreshadowing that's gonna make total sense to you, and 2 chapters later, here you see it happening. You can feel smart, because it wasn't actually told that it was gonna happen, but we foreshadowed it so badly, and so close to the actual event, that you will most definitely understand it, but still feel smart about the fact that you could figure it out by yourself. It's sort of like they're spoon-feeding you everything. They're spoon-feeding you, like, you know instantly who's gonna end up with who, you know instantly who's gonna survive, who's gonna make it. In the first book you can figure out their traumas, you can figure out their past really easily, actually. You can like be, yeah, called it, yeah, called it. You don't need to understand anything about the world, you don't need to care about the world to figure out anything. Once again, it's very dialogue heavy, it's very rapid, quick pace. I guess it's very like accessible to readers because of that, but that doesn't necessarily make it good. It makes it for a quick read, it makes it for maybe an entertaining read, depending on what entertains you, but it doesn't make it a good read, unfortunately. What else can I bash on about? Once again, I'm sorry if I'm sounding like such a hater. The most fun I have reading these books are making these videos. So I'm taking my time with it, because I feel like I read these books now. I'm allowed to talk about them. I've spent my hard-earned money on them. I purchased the more expensive editions. I don't feel bad about my opinions about these books. And I will keep them. I make it a point to not keep books that I've rated lower than 3 stars. All of these books have been rated lower than 3 stars. I'm keeping them 100%. I love their spot on my bookshelves. And speaking of rating, I forgot to say, I gave this one 2 stars. Not the worst book, definitely not. The first book I gave 2 stars, the second book I gave 1.5, rounding it down to 1, and this one was a 2 star. Because I couldn't be more disappointed than I was by the second book, right? Who would I recommend this to? Possibly someone just getting into fantasy and just going from YA to new adult fantasy. Maybe. or if you just enjoy reading whatever without caring about quality or anything like that, which is fine, because I sometimes do that as well. Once again, I read this series. I spend money on this series, I'm allowed to say this. Sometimes we can't bother caring about quality, right? And that is fine. But I really wouldn't recommend this series. Because it's not good. It's not good. It has potential. It could be good. Obviously the money is there to make it good. But there's just something with execution that is so poor. The writing isn't good. And it's simple as that. And I hate that. It's not doing anything for my brain to read these books. Because they are so obvious. Because they are spoon-feeding you. Because I don't feel attached to the characters, I don't care about this world. Like, nothing in the writing grabs me, I guess. And that might be a personal thing, it might be a writing thing. There's a lot of things that this book or this series does wrong that they could do right. Let's put you here with the rest of your friends. Finally, after I started this series 2 years ago when I read the first book. And now I'm finally finishing it. Will I ever read anything from this author in the future? I think no. Maybe that's unfair. I don't know. I know she has another release this year, I think. I'm not gonna pick that up. I think I need to give her a few years. And her team. A few years. To figure out their shit. Before I can consider reading a new book of theirs. Will this make me not want to read fantasy in the future? No, of course not. I love fantasy. I will continue to read fantasy, and I need to find another series that I can love to hate or love to rant about in the way that I've done with this series. Because I really, really enjoy making these videos, and I love talking about them this way. I'm sorry if this is a bit all over the place. Once again, I didn't go in with a script. I just had my thoughts and my little tabs in the book. If you're curious about the previous reviews, I will link them somewhere. Feel free to check them out. Once again, I'm sorry if I've sounded very harsh. I'm sorry if I've been hating on books that you really enjoy. Perhaps I'm not the I was gonna say that perhaps I'm not the audience for this book, but the thing is, I'm 100% the audience for this book. I'm a girl in her 20s who enjoys reading fantasy. Of course, these romantasy books are gonna be for me. Of course I'm the target audience. But, as we say in Sweden, the taste is like the butt, it's split. Yeah, we all have different opinions, we all have different thoughts. You can bash on my favorite books, please don't, but you can. I will respect that, you will respect my opinion here, and hopefully it was still like constructive enough, or like, I'm not saying just like, oh, this book sucks, I hate it. I'm actually trying to explain what things are making me not enjoy the book or not connect with the book. I hope I'm able to explain that to you all. If you have watched all of my rant reviews of this series, please leave me a comment saying that you've been here for the full ride. I would love to know about that. And if you have any ideas or suggestions or recommendations for books I should make these sort of like dedicated review videos for, please let me know, because I actually really, really enjoy making them. I enjoy it a lot, and I want to do more of them. If you have read this series, let me know your thoughts. Did you enjoy this series? Did you enjoy these books? Did you actually get through to the final book as well? Or have you stopped after the first or second one? What are your thoughts? Good, bad? Do you agree with me? Disagree? Am I entirely in the wrong? Please let me know. I would actually love to discuss these books now. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye!